lie, I ain't gon' hold you. Flex, that's right. I can't even lie, I ain't gon' hold you. I can't even lie, I ain't gon' hold you. You know, for sure. I can't lie to you, bitch. No, I can't even lie, I ain't gon' hold you. Flex, that's right. I can't even lie, I ain't gon' hold you. I can't even lie, I ain't gon' hold you. You know, for sure. I can't lie to you, bitch. Let me falling in a hole too, girl. I just wanna hold you. Do you remember where I told you? Yeah, that's right. Hope you don't get amnesia, girl. Yeah, hope you don't think I need you, girl. But if we together, you complete my world. Never let the swine see your pearls. Shit so sick you might need to earn. You wanna play but I need a girl. Yeah. And traveling on earth got you in a maze. Looking at the sun got you in a daze. Uriel take apples and make apple cider. Uriel take lemons and make lemonade. Same situation, just a different day. Way too hot, I ain't trying to chill. All you motherfuckers talking good ass game, but I can really tell that you lying for real. Look the pound to catch a thrill, push the higher the hill. Because I ain't really trying to die in the field. You wanna tell me something but you hide in the field. You got a nigga looking back like you childish as hell. Because no, I can't even lie, I ain't gon' hold you. Flex, that's right. I can't even lie, I ain't gon' hold you. I can't even lie, I ain't gon' hold you. You know, for sure. I ain't gon' hold you. I can't even lie, I ain't gon' hold you. I can't even lie, I ain't gon' hold you. You know, for sure. I can't lie to you, bitch. All you gotta do is just call on the phone. But I can see it now that you hardly at home. You lie about every little goddamn thing. You even lie about the damn drugs you had on. Think we need to separate like Tommy and Ghost. I'm feeling like Clyde when Bonnie got ghosts. You really take a look at the universe. You looking at a whole bunch of stars in a hole. Why you lie? You ain't even gon' have my back. Girl, can't tell me why you act like that. I smoke back to back, no cataracts. I'm about to tap that ass, that's a matter of fact. No Chipotle, girl, but that's a rap. Girl, little pussy gon' snap right back. Sticking with the stick, right, tat, tat, tat. And you ain't know that I can hit it from the back like that, together, no go-tos. You gassed up, but you still got no juice. Archangel Uriel just spoke true. My spirit bomber just like Goku's. Supreme God, I can't even lie, I ain't gon' hold you. Flex, that's right. I can't even lie, I ain't gon' hold you. I can't even lie, I ain't gon' hold you. You know, for sure. I can't lie to you, bitch. No, I can't even lie, I ain't gon' hold you. I can't even lie, I ain't gon' hold you. I can't even lie, I ain't gon' hold you. You know, for sure. I can't lie to you, bitch. No.
Flights. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your Venus and Capricorn transit talk. Oh yeah. I think it's kind of cool to feel, see, and experience. That's the word. Experience everyone's unique reactions to this energy. The energy that um has been harvesting, and I mean the build up to it too. All right, shout out to y'all in the live chat. uh yeah, appreciate you. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Welcome, by the way, Angelic, to the God Squad. All right. Next week I'm gonna be doing the first exclusive pick a card reading and tarot reading of the year. So those are God Squad exclusives. And yeah, another extended Magic Moon message will come out. Also, the Cosmic Energy tune up tomorrow was before God Squad exclusive. Now it's Eternal Vibe Tribe exclusive. So uh the replay will be available for that. We're gonna do that tomorrow. So yeah. Um, Limitless Existence just said something that's very, very, very key. It's crazy. I'm not even doing anything. And there's a link in the description box below that says no action needed. And the basis of the concept behind that is everything that now that Venus is in Capricorn, you will find naturally harvesting. And that is a main facet of what I'm going to be showing with the transit sauce. Namely, Venus is 4 degrees Capricorn, and in less than 24 hours, it's going to enact a 300-degree angle with the 5-degree Saturn in Pisces. And yeah, that's also going to be a 240-degree angle to Jupiter, now direct in Taurus. So I need you to understand that moving forward, the quality of how you make money, of how productively and realistically and practically you manifest partnerships, but more so relate to others in partnerships, is in less than 24 hours getting ready to crescendo smoothly and exponentially, not out of control, but in Capricorn, in control. All right. It's gonna be very unconventional, as we will see, with Uranus in Taurus, that will also be bringing in the phase every year. Okay, the sun, Mercury, and Venus and Mars travel through the zodiac. Mars retrogrades once every 2 years. So the journey that they start together, Mars plays catch up like a halfway through the year. Okay. But generally, even with Venus's retrograde, which it did in August, I want you to see how the sun is traveling with Mars, Mercury, and Venus. And then the moon, of course, moves quicker. But that this angle right here, this train right here, is the sun's awareness that at several points in a year, our scouter of our brain is ahead of the actions we take are ahead of. Our heart can lead us ahead of it. Right now, we are coming into conscious awareness and knowledge that proceeds what we think we want to do with it, Mercury and Mars, and what we love about it, how we can bring pleasure to it. Okay. uh Jen, Capricorn throws shade on Libra. That's why. Because Libra normally can charm everybody, but Libra can't charm Capricorn. And then Capricorn on top of that be throwing shade. So that's why the beef is real, but they're also your soulmates. So that there's that too. But like, yes, don't worry, they hate Gemini. Capricorn hates Gemini. So I understand a bit of that. They actually respect y'all though. Y'all are the only, Libra is the only sign that Capricorn respects. So there's that too. But yeah. Um I want you to see how we have the sun, Mars, Mercury, and Venus. That represents your conscious, your desire, right? So if you want a visual of this, you have the moon, which is how you feel, your inner satellite. You have the sun, which is your conscious awareness. And then you have Mercury, Venus, and Mars. Do you want to know what Mercury, Venus, and Mars is? This is why it's personal. Mercury, Venus, and Mars. That's it. That's it. Boom, boom, boom. That's your inner trinity. Okay, the journey of raising the Kundalini to enhance your awareness, or to be one with your awareness. Your conscious awareness is the spirit of your will to live that helps unify all these different systems in your body, but also the conscious function or functioning organs, right? Mercury, brain, Venus, heart, which we're going to talk about today, and then Mars, your desire, your root chakra. Okay, boom. So the moon is your inner world, the sun is how you express it out. So every year we update this. Every year we update this. And when you look at every other planet, we can now look at phases that the sun and us were traveling through. And I'm not saying that you're these planets. This is how we actually represent, boom, which is really beautiful. I was skeptical about this at first. I didn't think it was this simple. It blew my fucking mind. Heart, brain, Mercury, heart, Venus, and then Mars. Brr, grr, grr, grr. I think we're going to do Mars later. We did Mars and Cap already. So every year, the cycle, of course, is going to be different. Some years, Venus is leading the pack. Some years, like this year, Mars is leading the pack. Other years, of course, Mercury being the fastest, Mercury retrogrades back during this period. It just so happens that as we're getting ready to shift these cycles so ridiculous, so pronounced, okay, they're all aligned yet again. This isn't too uncommon because 2020, 2022, and 2024 are the 3 years that Mars finished its retrograde and has made it back there. So in 2026, Mars is going to make it back here. And unlike previous years, this is going to be now when Pluto is fully in Aquarius while Uranus is in Gemini. So we are starting a Mars cycle that's going to reconvene back here in 2 years. All right. Venus every year, Mercury every year, the sun every year. So that's our boom, boom, and our awareness. Okay. Very key. So if we examine the cycle that we started, we want to, I know, we want to look at Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Jupiter, and Uranus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can look at the nodes too. But these 5 points throughout human history, or just history, really, of course, don't stay in the same place. So every time these 3 points, boom, boom, and bap, hit those planets, they represent seeds being sown. They represent new cycles relative to that year. And let's actually look at that a bit. Because if we go back to the 60s, a lot of these cycles started in Virgo, of real social dynamics and health, and Libra of activism, and Leo, right? Where a lot of, if you think where these planets are opposite now, a lot of social conventions and modern traditions were born here through these cycles. Now that they're opposite, and you see people like, oh, people don't go out like they used to. In fact, now we're being socially distanced. That's because there's no social focus, because we're getting ready to create a whole new new social media, new social mechanics. There might be a few wars and culture wars in between to really fight for this narrative, but this is not a political channel. So relative to this, this is what makes this period so revolutionary, because the cycles that are starting are with Pluto in Aquarius, which hasn't happened in 248 years. So the major focus of this Venus in Capricorn is to really have you examine and look at how Mars, Mercury, and Venus are partying in Aquarius. Like they're getting ready to party in Aquarius. This is the new era party. And you know the goddess of beauty is going to show up fashionably late. You see how she's taking her time. She was beefing with Mars before. She has to get ready. They're about to make up again in Aquarius. Mercury, you know what I'm saying, was passing notes. So everyone is going to pass through the Pluto gate, and this is going to represent a new era. And the reason why we want to look at this now is this Capricorn transit happening behind the Aquarius sun means these planets are playing catch up. Your ability to process and really understand these events are catching up to your conscious awareness, because through Aquarius season, this is when it's going to start to take over your conscious and move ahead before Mercury, of course, retrogrades and whatnot. So what's really interesting about this now, when we look at these cycles, we want to look now at 2023, because 2023 was the last year we started these cycles. If we're looking at on the verge, so what happened 2023? 2023, Mars finished its retrograde in Gemini that it had started the cycles 2022 in. As you can see, the beginning of Gemini 2023. In fact, maybe, yeah, no, yeah, I had finished this retrograde. Venus started its cycle with Saturn in Aquarius and its cycle with Pluto in Cap. Same with Mercury. All right, so we want to look at that because this cycle that started here, notably, if we look a few months later, the Venus Jupiter and the Venus Uranus. Okay, so you need to go back to February and March of 2023, because everything that had kicked off during then, which was the peak initialization of the seeds that you sowed. And we want to really look at this period because a lot of things you initiated, you probably slept on. Like this peak Neptune Pisces is ruminating, whether just strictly in your dreams or your imagination, a belief in yourself that doesn't have words. It doesn't have a name. There isn't really a way to understand it. And it's not necessarily something you can believe in. So like you may not realize that you are sleeping on like the next big innovation or an understanding of yourself that now during this period is going to make almost out of thin air very clear. And I need to word that better too. There may have been things that you are still looking at up into this point that you're confused about why is breaking you through, because you didn't even really plan to move forward with it and do anything with it, or certain things that you really believed and invested in yourself, but you may not have expected that it would take you way further than you could have ever imagined. That's a huge theme, where if you think that anything that you have a goal towards, you have this idea or you have this determination to come into, a certain set of rewards, you have an idea of what you think this is worth. Well, what happens if you are completely wrong? What if you did not have the capability to perceive how much more you can come into the rewards? What if everything that you dreamed of and had as a reward was just the rough draft and was just like the initial paragraph and introduction to a whole essay or book, and your higher self now took that rough draft and edited it and said, no, I'm going to teach you how to dream way bigger, and like completely just expanded what's possible. A lot of that is like moving towards something and you don't see what's beyond. And this is where now at this stage of the harvest, you're getting ready at the top of the mountain to quite literally see more than ever what you have been working towards. Like this is going to be a 3-month arc that's going to help you adjust through Pisces season, because you're over delivering on your harvest. You only merely had you don't even have an idea, because Jupiter is not even in Gemini. So anything that you think you have, you really don't know. Like this Aquarius season is going to give you an initial level of knowledge, but like there's no way you can know, because it's like you literally just awaken. You literally just got from the shop a brand new car. a brand new car that has never, ever, ever been sold in stores, and people don't even know the features that you have. You don't even know because you haven't really driven it and experienced it yet. So you only have an idea of what it's possible of because you've seen them test it in the shop and you have the car. But like you haven't even given it like 500 miles. So like you're getting ready to just barely step into this dare I say limitless potentiality, but without using too many big words or words. uh I just want you to kind of go back here, like this Venus, North Node, Uranus, and Taurus is so significant. I think less than 1% of the people on the planet really know why, especially relative to this cycle. So guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Okay. A lot of this North Nodal axis, everything you sowed those seeds for, it's a 10-year contract. It's going to be like a magic beanstalk that begins to harvest. Once it begins to harvest and complete that harvest, it's going to keep going for 10 years. It's going to take you to the North Node in Scorpio. All right. Then you do it again. So why is that significant? Because, well, right now, Venus is in Capricorn. So where is it conjuncted in April and May, or March and April? Now they're making Sagittarius signature angles at 6 and 19 degrees. This is very important for multiple reasons. Forget the fact that the seeds you sown in many ways were not just faith driven, but having to deal with things you may not have ever seen before, concepts about yourself you believe, but you have no real way of seeing well until now. So the ninth house in Capricorn of vision is the reality of this seed. It is the completion of the harvest, 240 to 270, where through Aquarius, you're going to come into the knowledge of what it is you have unconventionally harvested. So, yeah, this Venus in Capricorn transit is bringing to a full, concrete, tangible reality supernatural rewards of your own wealth that doesn't come attached to some job, corporation, or entity, but from you because of everything you've done the past 8 months. And this is where some of you may not even really be aware you did anything because you may think that there's something complex you had to do when that's not. All you had to do is make a very important intention, which everyone did, if for sure through that new moon. So the reason why this is important is the harvest began during November, where we had post the Venus retrograde, Venus, Mercury, and the Sun and Mars are 1, 2, 3, 4 go through Scorpio, and that was the beginning of that harvest. We began to transform, and then we began to see the effects on the last leg of the I Told You So tour during Sagittarius season, where now the 210 to 240 degree angle was the effects of transforming and beginning to see what that looks like. So the thing about that is Scorpio is water, Sagittarius is fire. The last part of this harvest, Scorpio, Sag, Capricorn, this is why now Capricorn is Taurus's ninth house. Taurus begins to harvest as Scorpio. The effect through Sag now crystallizes. Sag of creator creates the reality. Capricorn ninth house. All right. The material totality. And this is now through this Capricorn transit, the ninth house vision of actually seeing it real, which means there were a lot that you may not have really tangibly seen while it was harvesting. All right. I mean, you did see it, but this is where at the final stage of this, it crystallizes real. Mars is you moving in that direction, and Mercury, you're very cognizant in processing the organization of this. Very, very, very powerful, actually. So the thing that's really incredible about this is Venus, who of course is showing up fashionably late, is quite literally polishing the wreckage that your brain and desire have laid waste through. Mercury is the god of war, literally chopping, cutting, and Venus is now sweeping everything up. This is the last part of this tour. Like Venus is going to be the last person to enter through, and you want to see this as her quite literally beautifying and making very powerful. Oh, you could look at the price at the description box below. All right, that'll let you know how much. For those of you who are interested in a live reading, Kim, I got your chart and you are most definitely first, as you pre-ordered yesterday. So yeah, stay tuned. Yeah, guys, this is the purpose of this, is to organize this harvest so that you know during next month who you're going to allocate that with, and also the what direction you want to take all of this in. So when you harvest, it comes in three stages: the harvest and the conclusion. But the harvest is okay. The harvest is that initial harvest with the opposition. Um, is that how I wanted to? Okay, well, we could look at it as like the initial harvest where you're actually cutting off. You're literally cutting and now gathering everything that you're harvesting, and then the eighth house is you tossing out the weeds of what's not needed and gathering everything you need. And then the ninth house is now finally gathering everything you have. And it's real at this point. And that's what brings us to the completion 10th house, where we now call out, okay, this is everything we harvested. Boom. That's the high score. Then 11th house is, okay, 11% of this, give to these people. Boom. Or whether you keep it all. That's the difference between net and gross. And then the 12th house, we clear the field balsamic before we sow seeds again with the conjunction. So we are at the point where it's real. Like we now have all the net of everything we're moving forward with. This is most definitely speaking on the quality of the integrity and how you actually practice what you preach about your worth and value and how you show up really. And then this is also in the supernatural form of unconventional money, unconventional wealth, driven and ran by your own capacity to create your reality and to speak what it is you want into existence. Because it's, once again, it's very easy to kind of adopt this attitude spiritually, but you're the creator once again of your own experience. So for those of you throughout the past year who did not take any responsibility over your heart, your brain, and your desire, and you spoke into your reality, oh, nothing ever works for me right. Oh, this isn't working right. Oh, when is this going to happen? I'm tired of waiting for stuff. You're going to be creating that. This is it. Like the zodiac enables us to really use our own God powers, and the planets are liaisons and agents that at least help guide us through this. None of these things do it for you, though. You're the one. You're the one who co-creates with the universe. So for those of you who create these new neural pathways and co-create with this function, that's the next level. New levels, new devils. It's not that you're not allowed to spiral, but this is the last chance for you to kind of pick this up. You're always going to have a chance, but you don't want to make it to Aquarius past Pluto and you're still kind of carrying with you any doubt. It's almost like wasting the potential of this harvest, even though at this point it's already harvested. This is what will be brought to your attention. So anything that needs to be changed can be changed. If you don't really like what you see, literally just change it. Okay. And And I don't mean like worry about how to change it. Literally just decide it's changed. All right. And now if we're looking at what's harvesting, the quality of Capricorn here is power. And this is where, once again, Mars is the organization of our action, and Mercury is representing the power of our brain's processing ability. As they slowly but surely trine Uranus and sextile Neptune, if Saturn and Jupiter just expanded the discipline with which how we take action and think, Neptune and Uranus is going to be like taking NZT and hyper accelerating the supernatural power and quality of just simple basic text. It's going to feel like you took an Adderall, but there's no like weird come down effects. And when you realize that this is based off a year-long harvest, it's not just coming off and out of anywhere. So it's going to be Venus that's going to now show this in terms of the money, the quality of your relationships, your value, but also manifestation. And this is where, as this hits Jupiter and Uranus, the unconventional quality and supernatural nature of this is going to rub the wrong way stupid muggles, uninitiated fodder. I don't say this in the sense where, oh, we're better than them. No. You're going to be triggering inferiority complexes from people who don't understand why they have to work 40 hours a week just for you to snap your fingers and make what you want to happen. This can cause very crazy projection to people who now have to undermine what it is you do. They can't believe that you're making even close to what they're making. So it's more comfortable for them to just say you're some kind of scammer. Your work isn't necessarily legitimate. Well, that's not really a real job. And they couldn't even begin to understand or explain what you do, talk less of the complexity of what you do. This is more so you harvesting this sense of innovation, and you don't necessarily want to trip yourself up. They'll more than definitely be okay, but it's something you want to be mindful of, because once we get past this Jupiter in literally a day, Saturn is going to set the stability. The 300 degree of Venus and Saturn is like an anchor from the imagination realm that is showing you, hey, all that stuff you've been intending for, did you really think that it was for nothing? Were you looking at your 3D reality like, oh, it's not here? Your imagination is not real. Of course it's not here. You were imagineering it. That is an action. It is an imaginative action. It is an imaginative act. You have people who just work out their muscles. You have spiritual muscles. It's called your imagination. And something that people feel like they're really good at, but few people put in the work. And this is where that 300 degree angle is now the last planet. There's no other planet other than the moon. The moon is not even a planet. It's the last planet that's going to be here until the next year. All right. And where's Pluto? 0 degrees. Okay. So, like, this is going to be it, my friends. You're going to start to click into gear the hyper reality, Virgo goddess. I got you on a card of how the neural pathways you've built now at a heart level is bringing you into the dream, and the work is not done. This is just at the initial level, 5 degrees. Next year, we're going to do this at an even higher degree, where, of course, Saturn is going to be closer to 17, and we're going to have that conjunction with Neptune here, the last ever in over 300 years, well, 200 years, not 300. But so there's that. But yeah, so that's very important, because the Saturn in Pisces element is going to induce a completion of the rewards of not just your heart believing in your dreams, but moving forward with the knowledge that you're imagineering. This is now going to be like, see, it's really here. Like that 5 degree cap to 6 degrees aqua is you experiencing the reality of, oh, I did that over this year. And not only that, once we have that stability anchored, that's going to enable you to expand. If it was just the trine, you might not necessarily like feel that motivated to really give your all, because you might be like, I don't even believe if this is really working. But once you have the Saturn connection, that's like, oh no, it really is working. Brr. So that's that boom, boom, 1, 2, pop, snap, boomer. Wow, I just said boomer. Pop, snap, booger. I'm just making up a word at this point. But yeah, the next 2 days, the coolest thing about this is literally the next 2 days. So this is what really brings us into it. And there's before the next 2 days, there's during the next 2 days, and there's after the next 2 days. First of all, we want to really acknowledge that this is going to be happening while the moon is in Virgo. So the moon coming out of Leo into Virgo is what's going to facilitate the actual feeling of change. Virgo, Sag, Gemini, and Pisces help adjust our perception while all these cycles are happening. All right. Otherwise, we'd be emotionless robots. And I don't really think that might be the worst thing. But then again, I have my moon in Capricorn. So with that being said, this is what's going to help you understand for real, how exactly to the detail it's going down. This is going to bring a natural buildup over a week and a half that's going to prepare for you to pull the lever on wealth that you may be actually coming into for the first time ever in your life. Even if it's not your first rodeo, you're going to be like, oh, this is familiar. This is familiar. I like this. Boom. So that's the first phase of this transit. Everything up until today was really a real setup so that you're coming into a real practical direction. And let's kind of look at this. Like now versus 2 months ago, you have a much more practical, organized look at where you want to take your finances. About it doesn't mean you have all the answers yet. That's going to come later into the next couple months, but you have an initial direction of, okay, this is where I'm getting ready to organize. And that's important to establish because you have no idea. You have no idea how this is about to spiral out of control. Like there's what you feel you're capable of handling, and then there's what you're going to have to handle, which is going to be so much bigger than you thought possible. And the most important thing is big doesn't have to look like what you've been conventionally told is big. Like being told your whole life you should have gotten a professional college degree, and you're being looked at weird because you made this unconventional risk of believing in yourself and what you're doing, and you had to deal with people not necessarily respecting you because you didn't get that professional degree. But now you have created your own IP and professional product that is valued at close to $1 billion. So now you're literally looking at a breakthrough of success that in no way is conventional and in no way changes how people feel about you. You might still be like, well, that's impressive, but you still should have done it this way. So the whole thing is not really about who likes it or not. It's about the innovation you are creating. I'm not talking about people who take a risk, but they don't even know they're not really walking in integrity. They're doing this just to chase something or to kind of cut corners. Y'all did the work. You did the work. It's important for you to know nothing about this transit is you trying to make any money. This is not about you. Oh, I hope I find my right partner. Some of you are still asking yourself, when am I going to be in a relationship? What's stopping you from deciding right now? Like, if you're not in a position right now where you cannot decide, I'm in a relationship I want to be in. All the relationships with my platonic and romantic friends are perfect. If you need stuff outside of you to happen, you do not trust yourself. You have trust issues with yourself, and you're projecting those shadows towards other people. You are a fully functioning, infinite soul with limitless potential. So, the whole point of the past few months was to get you through the training wheel phase. You're not on training wheels anymore. The universe is giving you 5011 synchronicities. You know what it is. We're in Aquarius season. We just started this awakening. So, you're not being held by the hand like a baby. The universe is going to put you in the dark. You see this? You see this? This is the dark. This is a balsamic Piscean signature phase. All these planets, your brain, your Mars, you're moving forward in faith in the direction you stepped into. Almost as if to be like, okay, everything we just taught this person, once we put them in the dark, are they going to just start doubting all of a sudden? Are they going to forget that they're him, that they're her? Or are they going to keep moving, knowing, I don't need to see all the evidence. I already put in the work. I create my, like, I don't need to wait for anything. As long, I just need to keep doing what I do. I got, like, that's it. Some of you are about to come through the light. You're about to come through the light. Like this phase where Mercury, Mars, and Venus will surpass the sun. That's coming into the activation, which means all the work until then. And what's in the dark? Your harvest. So some of you don't even see right now all the connections being made to quite literally set up this harvest, even though you're currently doing it. At no point are we like in any way, doubting that the work you've put in was not enough. Now, if you're listening to what other people who don't really even fucking know you are saying, and the weird and stupid expectations that people place on you just because of the image of how they want things to look, well, then you're appealing to the authority of a lie. And that might be the distortion of the frustration you're feeling. As far as you and your spirit, you did the work. You did the work. So I'm not saying, oh, don't worry about anything, but we just have to make sure we're clear here, because the potential for outright manipulation in the most heinous of ways is very possible. This is the aftermath of the final boss. These three planets still have to pass Pluto. So what we want to look at right now is that Mercury, Mars, and Venus are squaring Chiron in the North Node. This is a very important hump. Okay, as you receive your harvest, if you just got paid right now for performing at a show, would you go back? Like if you just broke through this year, and for the first time ever, like in April and May, you brought a guitar. You actually bought a guitar. You made a radical investment in yourself, May of 2023, and you bought a new type of guitar. And some people were making fun of you, like, oh, that's not the original way you're supposed to play the guitar. Whatever, bitch. Because now, fast forward to January, you just got paid for performing at a stadium. This has now put you out there in ways that maybe you've never been put out there. And we want to kind of highlight this new evolution cycle. It's something that you kind of just broke into for the first time. So are you going to now take the old gigs or the old practice plays you may have done, right? Like now that you've achieved this harvest, are you about to go back to square one? And I don't mean going back to square one to like practice, right? But are you about to go backwards? And if someone's going to ask you what you want to get paid, Are you going to go back to practice rates? This harvest of value and wealth is getting ready to, I don't want to say move you up a higher tax bracket, because who wants to pay more taxes? But this is getting ready to resituate your, I don't even want to say portfolio, your status, how it is you yesterday's price is not today's price, pretty much. But basically, that square to the Chiron in Aries is overcoming previous insecurities, because now you are quite literally ranking up. This is what's going to reestablish now the next cycle in 4 months, when you go through this 3 to 4 months. So a lot of this, as you saw when I showed you, was activated in April. You're activating all that, you're completing all of that Aries energy. This completion is taking a lot of what had to arise, as far as where maybe you can be more authentic and stand up more for yourself. And now you're at the completion of this. Like, I did it. I completed it. All right. And this is very easy. Like, just go back to February, go back to March of 2023, and just look at how much more refined. A lot in March was raw. Now this is refined. It is definitively refined. Okay. We did this. That is the whole Aquarius season. It's just the quality of how we did this is monumental. And so this is where, moving forward, coming into February, the song that's coming to me is na 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 na. Then you can't tell me nothing, right? Oh, because nobody's gonna be able to tell you shit. This is the real heart. Like, at the level of Capricorn, you've reached elite status that no one can take from you, because you did it. And that's where imposter syndrome can kick in, especially with the moon in Libra. When people start to wax rhetorically about why you shouldn't be making them feel uncomfortable with your success, because it triggers the detonation of all these old traditions they felt really meant success, and now you're transforming what success looks like. Just defecate on their face respectfully. Take a big fat dump on their face. That's all you have to do. We don't have to be disrespectful or anything. We don't have to argue. We don't have to fight. Your actions are going to be speaking for themselves, and your actions are going to be defecating exactly on their face. And with a little bit of poop on their face, I think they're going to really understand their place, because we're not out here just putting people in their place. But when people ask to be put in their place, we just defecate on their face with their actions. And as they really kind of realize that they cannot tell you anything, they're reluctantly just going to have to accept that you're here to stay. You're a mover and shaker. You've transformed the status quo. And I kind of want to highlight that the acceleration curve of this trine, like Venus trining Jupiter, is now a acceleration of how much quicker you're going to be manifesting this. So basically, everything up until now was you creating this harvest, and it should feel like, oh, I'm starting to see it come through. In fact, please comment at number 1 if right now you're starting to see for real, oh, more money's coming in there. Oh, this is starting to succeed, but it's kind of like the hose. It's kind of like the hose is stuck. So it's like, okay, the water's flowing, but it's like, okay, it's not flowing at its full capacity, right? If you picked one over the next 24 to 48 hours, that moon in Virgo is you coming into the real behavioral change and analysis and experience of now that hose being that trine of Jupiter is expanding how much more comes through. That's now. That's quite literally now. Like, that's going to be the moon in Virgo, because you organized. If you didn't organize it, it would just go. So now you're like, okay, this is where I want it. And Jupiter's like, all right, ready. And now Saturn is where you're directing your imagination. The angle of how, like, okay, All right. It's a very important field. Very important field. Nicolette, thank you so much. Thank you so much for this confirmation. So the reason why this is, and shout out to the Capricorns, like you're going to be directing the face of this. So it's very powerful. It's going to kind of really set a lot of shit off. But rising, sun, moon, the expansion of this is going to feel exhilarating because it's going to kind of be like, oh, but it's not done yet. You still have to, once it goes into Aquarius, the water ends, it's going to keep going. But like you finished, you turn it off real quick, like, okay, this is all I want. And then you move forward. You move forward with that. Okay. So, whew. And it feels very exciting. It feels very exciting. It feels very exciting. All right. So Jupiter is now that hose being fluid. And then once it starts to trine Uranus, it's like the water becoming electric and no, that's not even a good analogy. It goes like beyond proportions, unimaginable. So it's very important that we have that trine. So basically, the end of January to the first 2 weeks of February, which sets up the new moon in Aquarius, is and I'll show you right now. So basically, as of now, we're getting ready to come into this trine. Moon in Virgo, the moon in Virgo transit is what's going to give you the real change of now that hose. And I just love how it's a grand earth trine. This is what's going to click it for real. And it's like, so now from moon in Virgo to moon in Capricorn, right? We're going to continue to see Venus move forward. And this is where you're coming into a substantial increase and abundance of not just wealth, but the polishing of this. We want to highlight Mercury. Mercury is going to be the first planet to go over the Pluto hump. This is going to extremely neutrino your brain. All right. This is going to bring you there. You're going to start to process like a celestial god. And Aquarius, you know what I mean? You do this every day. All right. That's crazy to say. But so this is where now, once we step into the balsamic phase, if you look at the ceremony, I kind of explained the moon phase here. But at this stage with Venus, what do we see? We see the trine. We see the trine. So basically, tomorrow, the 27th to February 8th is the process of taking this expansion of the quality of this harvest and getting ready to exponentially move this forward. Because once we get to February 8th and we're getting ready to skyrocket with this new moon, now the quality of this moves forward quite literally exponentially, bringing us to the last decan sub-ruled by Mercury. All right. Something to really keep in mind here. All right. Just going through the math real quick. Last week up until now is just getting the position. And then tomorrow we hit the Jupiter trine. And then once the new moon hits, boom, it's like hyperspeed. It's automatic. Automated income. Automatic. And we don't want to see the whole March, May seed planning was about instituting and establishing wealth that is independent beyond any system. So a lot of wealth doesn't have to look like money. If you finish this transit broke as a joke, you have created the game plan to within 6 months make a lot of money or whatever wealth looks like to you. A lot of this is breaking out of modern convention, which is why I was saying 6 months ago, you may have completely slept on what this is because it may not necessarily have looked like what society told you it should look like. And with the South Node in Libra, society is the last voice you want to listen to. Pop culture is the last voice you want to listen to. A lot of it is trash. A lot of it is more trash than it's ever been. Because we're getting ready within a year and a half to step into one of the greatest renaissances we've ever had. We're about to have a music renaissance, a movie renaissance, technology renaissance, automobile renaissance, home renaissance, like everything is coming into the renaissance with this new world order. Right now, we're coming into the end of the world. It's clearing out the trash, huge renaissance. You are a part of this huge renaissance. You are the revolution. And this is where, in preparation for this is going to have you harvest all that work. For those of you who have an external locus of control and you depend on what other people think about you in order for you to feel successful, which is not really necessarily a bad thing. But like, you genuinely, it's okay. I'm not trying to like make fun of anyone or say this is bad, but let's keep it a buck. Some of you will not ever feel successful until a group of people like fuck with your shit and be like, oh, you're successful. Okay. So for those of you who are like that, you're going to look at this period like, oh shit, I was more successful than I ever felt because I didn't see those people doing that. So it's going to disillusion you. It's going to be like, oh, wow, I didn't even notice this. For those of you who have an internal locus of control, right? Who your source of success comes from your intrinsic values, this period is going to be massive confirmation. Like, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Either way, everyone's winning. Because a major facet of this arc ride is the final test of not, oh, what do you have to do in order to get your dreams? That's not the nature of this test. The reason why you had to be a finalist, like to get to this part of the test, you had to make it through the 2020 test and then the 2022 test. The 2020 test, y'all know what the fuck that was. The 2022 test was population control. Okay, you either did some or you didn't. And the 2024 test, right, is what happens when you get all of your dreams. We're going to test you on how it is you manage all of your dreams. We're going to give you everything you want and see if you have the integrity to handle that, to see the quality of the type of person you are by what it is you wanted. Crazy shit. And so this is everything harvesting for real to prepare you for that Pisces test. Like, the reason why you're getting everything is to initiate the test with it. So because it's square the nose, you can't escape this. That's why I'm keeping it vague and I'm just saying success, because what you even call a success is going to transform. And you're going to define this in a way that it has never been defined before. That's what 2024 is. Jupiter through Gemini, you are now changing finally the status quo and you're creating language to it. You're getting ready to write your story, because it's like, wow, I was told this, I made this happen. I was told that I couldn't get cured of this. I literally was able to cure myself with my own energy. I was told that I needed to pay $50,000 until I just believed in my own healing power, and I healed myself. I healed other people. Like, you didn't just do nothing. Nothing didn't happen to you. It's not like nothing happened to you over the past few weeks or years. So this is converging all of that. All right. So that new moon, okay. And see, the thing about this, right? And this is the beautiful thing about Venus being in Capricorn. Your man is about to come find you because you decided it. Imagine if the universe and Jackie, I know you do not have this issue. I know your connection is powerful with the universe. I'm going to be speaking in general. Some of you watching this right now, the universe is your mirror reflection. So like, imagine if the universe is supposed to hear you command it, and then it completely reflects this back due to your inner and outer moves. And you're just like, and all it's hearing is, well, I would like to have that. I just don't think that this is going to work because of that. And the universe is like, all right, well, it's not going to work because of that. Versus you stepping into this power you've awakened, like, all right, I see this in my life. I know I'm going to experience this in my life. And this is what it is. I'm going to, here in this 3D, create the environment for and the space for it to be, and the universe co-creates. I'm not waiting for the universe to co-create it. I set the command. It's already happening. So that conviction in living in the end, now that you have harvested this, isn't like you sowing the seeds. It's now this unconventional harvest of you really not only seeing it come in, but Capricorn is you controlling and directing it. So if we look at Mars, Mercury, and Venus as the triune aspect of your feminine and masculine sexuality and your brain, this is taking your ability to manifest and making it instant. This is you seeing and controlling now how you organize your philosophy on using this power that you have had your entire life, but you quite literally have awakened to. Okay. So a lot of the doubt or unclarity is going to break through over the next 2 weeks. And once we step into that new moon, you're ready to explore the world of the dream, the great dream everyone will be dreaming. And this is the final test you're being prepared for. So that looks like, of course, Venus getting ready to sextile Neptune, which is going to facilitate a massive dream come true. This is now taking the broad organization of what you have sowed the seeds for. And now Neptune is inducing this LSD hit that's going to really have this, dissolve quite blissfully. And we conclude, of course, with Venus starting its official cycle 2024 on Pluto. It's important to know that last year, this happened in Capricorn. This happened in Capricorn. So to see it happening in Aquarius, gangster. And this is what now is going to prepare by the time the moon is in Gemini to align your brain around what the fuck has been happening and how you really did it, awakening to your real destiny. So now that we've gotten the math out the way, I think one thing that's very important to establish relative to this is Venus represents your heart, and your heart produces electricity. The beating of your heart creates an electromagnetic frequency. So, this mathematical harvest through Capricorn is the reality of the supernatural functioning through your body to polish itself and actually wrap around to where you're starting to create the finesse, right? I mean, think about it. Up until this point, you have been having synchronicities of you unconsciously applying your power. It hits different when now you're like, hey, check this out. Wagga wagga woozoo. Ha! And boom, somebody gives you a cupcake. And your friend is like, I was just thinking about cupcake. Like you're adding style to the way you do this because you have quite literally mastered this. That's going to prepare for Aquarius, where now you know what's up and you're awakening this next level. So take your time with this. This is a Earth transit. It feels good to do it on command. That's quite literally it. This is now stepping you forward. By the time it goes through Pluto, the new era is we're doing it at will now. The will, the awakening of the mind, that's it. We had to break through subconscious patterns in our body that got in the way of our brain and mind. But it is what it is. It is what it is. And it's still just barely the beginning. So, M. Night Shyamalama Lama Lama, as this opens up, the guidance from a lot of your imagination and your values is now going to open up everything you can control through this. I mean, now you're able to step into at command, at smoother efficiency, things that you might have just been experimenting if they were possible. So now, what is it that you would do? How would you form the way you live with these powers? Ninth house philosophy, Capricorn, ninth house to Taurus. Let's get it. Boom. Please understand that next year we're going to do a version of this, but with Aquarius to Jupiter and Gemini. which is now going to take this enhanced knowledge and enable us to experiment with it. Now that we could do it at will, well, what do we want to do? That's basically post May of this year. So it's amazing, very amazing. This is a financial harvest, but you definitely don't want to get too caught up on traditional, what's the word? Traditional understandings of how wealth looks like. I'm saying that because you don't want to really be waiting for something to happen where you already did it. Like if you're still looking for the value, look in the mirror. I hope that sounds corny, but like you're still kind of looking for shit outside of you, and like it's you. It's you. And I think this is what's gonna make it very real. All right. More than ever. If not this moon in Virgo transit. I do have, of course, 15 spots available for enjoy my mail list, please. The Venus and Capricorn. For those of you who use the half off discount code Venus, you will get it half off. The first 10 of you to do that, I gotcha. So for those of you who would like that, you are more than welcome. I also would like to let, I don't think some of you may be aware. Uh-oh. Oh my goodness. All right. In case some of you are also not aware, I do have other readings here on Hipsy relative to the 40 the live transit interpretation, the 3-card draw, and the tarot card draw. All right. In case any of you outside the live want any quick readings, anything that I could quickly do. And if you would like a live reading too, I got you. That being said, we're gonna start with Kim for the live reading. Natal chart analysis for current transit, please. Career and relationships. So we know that your rising is Taurus and you are the natural queen. And I love it because you are born with this as the spirit teacher. 9th house Capricorn sun, 9th house Jupiter in Capricorn, Mercury, and North Node. So North Node in the 9th house, even though it falls in the 8th, it's literally your destiny to create a religion. Like people are going to really understand a more organized way of life because of how directly you teach integrity as a natural embodiment of proper values, even if you're not necessarily traditional as other people. That is powerful. You're a powerful teacher. And the 8th house emphasis is like you teaching the occult or teaching things unspoken through your actions. No matter what it is you do, whether you're an engineer, whether it is you're a yoga teacher, you teach integrity through what it is you teach. And this is beautiful, knowing that you embody the base root of what we're harvesting. Jupiter is in our 1st house. So you're kicking in this evolution cycle coming May of 2024. And knowing you have Saturn in Gemini, which is the totality of the word, through the integrity you have to crystallize how powerful what it is you live by. This is very, very amazingly going to harvest a lot of this next philosophical direction you're ready to take, while Saturn is getting ready to crystallize powerful elements of your career. Very beautiful. During Aquarius season, that's bringing this to an outright knowledge. It's nice to see this quality of your power. And then, of course, you have the moon in Cancer, born right before the full moon. So the psychic receptivity, yeah, you do have the square to Pluto, which is probably very painful, but makes you extremely powerful. So yeah, you have an extremely psychic insight during this. But yeah, it's really just going to conclude a lot of how your capacity to show and teach through your actions is so much smoothened, it's so much more powerful. As far as career is concerned, it's leading up and preparing over February and March. And so everything that you don't know about what you're going to step into there will be known. Capricorn is going to quite literally just create the steps. And through Aquarius and Pisces, you're going to be revealed the knowledge and potential of what you're going to achieve over the next year. This is you kind of establishing that dream. But it's important to know that at this stage of harvest, especially, um, one, because you're getting ready to establish this new cycle, this can most definitely set up relationships for you. And it's something to keep in mind. It's not conducive to start a relationship while you're ending an old cycle. So that might really be the only sense of delay. But now, since you are within range of the new cycle, what does that mean? In 6 months, we'll be in Leo season. So you kick off this new cycle in May. That means you are already around the next cycle of people you're destined to move forward with over the next 12 years. They're like characters subtly being introduced in the last chapter of the old book. So yeah, the manifestation videos I have down below will kind of help you maintain the state as far as what career goals or wishes or decisions you want to make and the way you want your relationships to look like. It's a perfect thing to practice now while you're coming out of the ninth into the 10th house region. And with this transit of Venus, you will see rapid accelerated quality to how instant you're able to align with this and make this happen. I don't think you actually have an issue with doing so, but we want to look at the quality of how much more advanced you'll be able to now almost make obsolete old methods. But we also want to look at Pluto, that's so close to your sun and getting ready to leave that sign. You've overcome since 2012 that square in opposition to your moon. So this is also going to really, really have you once again move forward quite appropriately. And finally, I'm going to pull a card for Virgo Goddess. Thank you. Much appreciated. This card flew out. I just kind of pictured you smacking the bejesus out of someone, and not even because you're violent, but just like somebody thinks they want smoke with you, but they don't. Like as soon as they do, they run away. Not even because you got angry or did anything, but like maybe you just gave them a death stare. Anyway, we do have the Two of Cups. This is the Lord of Love. Yeah. If there's anybody trying to like get in the way of you connecting with someone, I get the sense that there are people who are trying to like take a potential love interest and whisper in their ear and be like, oh, you shouldn't like her. It's not working. This could be what does come through. But like, yeah, it's just something to keep in mind. You have a deeper connection with this person just naturally than all the noise in their ear trying to distract you. And I feel like someone's about to get their ass beat for trying to get in the way of this connection. Like this could even be your spirit guys, like getting that nonsense out of here. And we do have the Princess of Wands. So the nature of this is very new. It's very promising. It's very exciting. This could even be just the love you have with yourself and how you're nurturing towards others. But the Princess of Wands is really moving forward in an exciting direction you may not have tried before. Taking the risk to do things and take risks that you may not have ever tried before. And that's really fun. Yes, Virgo Goddess, this is for you. So yeah, this is the underlying theme, which is representing mutual love and trust. And this is the Princess of Wands. Whether this is like a younger girl, that could be like a daughter to you or a friend. I think this is the quality of a relationship that could bloom, whether platonically or romantically, but it does look like romantically, in a new, exciting direction. Okie dokie. You guys stay blessed as always. And until next time, peace out.